all die. They ain't feeling sympathetic for the small guy. I don't think I'ma regret it when the cars fly. Ain't nothing really hitting like it used to. Gas wake the neighbors up like a rooster. It's a booster, help me see the future. I believe in karma and karma sutra, so let's do some.
I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Right. Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
Hello, everybody. I'm wearing my favorite sunglasses because hopefully everyone has survived the humiliation ritual. So we're all here, right? Everything is fine. Hello, Nathan Ward. Hi, MindHack. Hi, Nemesis and Hades. So nice to see you. Hi, Tamara Doherty. And hello, Michael, Petit Penguin, Kryptonian Commander OT9. Hello, Corn Freak. Hi, Wes H. And Trump 1, Bill O'Reilly. Yeah, well, you know. I figure that maybe this will be a nice distraction for people. I don't really know. Whatever. Anyways, so this is going to be one of many, and I don't know how many, that we are going to be discussing, the United States of Obscenity. I'm certainly not going to get through all of Michael Thevis today because there is just way too much. But we're going to go back over a few things, and I kind of want to work through the timeline without getting too off course as far as, his history, because I'm not so much focused on the assassinations that he was involved in, except for one. Hello, Tony C, and hello, the Everyday Therapist, and hi, Meatball, and Jay Snyder, Steve Sippos, and Mamas and Papas. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and run the intro, and then we'll just get into it.
Come on, let's go. Welcome to the United Snakes, land of the thief, home of the slave. Grand Imperial Guard, where the dollar is sacred and proud. Let's do the shit for real, come on now. Smoke and mirrors, stripes and stars, stolen for the cross in the name of God. Bloodshed, genocide, rape and fraud, written to the pages of the law, good law. The cold continent latchkey child ran away one day and started acting foul. King of where the wild things are, daddy's proud, cause the Roman Empire done passed it down. Imported and tortured the workforce and never healed the wounds or shook the curse off. Now the grown-up Goliath nation holding open auditions for the part of David. Can you feel it? Nothing can save you. You question the rain, you get rushed in and chained up. Fist raised, but I must be insane, cause I can't figure a single goddamn way to change. Welcome to the United Snakes, land of the thief, home of the slave. The Grand Imperial Guard, where the dollar is sacred and power is God. Welcome to the United Snakes, land of the thief, home of the slave. The Grand Imperial Guard, where the dollar is sacred and power is God. All must bow to the fat and lazy. The fuck you obey me, or why do they hate me? Who me? Only 2 generations away from the world's most despicable slavery trade. Pioneered so many ways to degrade a human being that it can't be changed to this day. Legacy so ingrained in the way that we think we no longer need chains to be slaves. Lord, it's a shameful display. The overseers even got raped along the way. Cause the children can't escape from the pain, and they born with the poisonous hatred in their veins. Try and separate a man from his soul. You only strengthen him and lose your own. But shoot that fucker if he walk near the throne. Remind him that this is my home. Now I'm gone. Welcome to the United Snakes, land of the thief, home of the slave. The Grand Imperial Guard, where the dollar is sacred and power is God. Welcome to the United Snakes, land of the thief, home of the slave. The Grand Imperial Guard, where the dollar is sacred.
Don't forget, we are out here fighting demons, y'all. And hello, Sandra Marr. And who else? Nadia Beeswax Minion 75. Hello. And hello, someone. Don't hate players. All right. Yeah. No hating. We're all, whatever. it is what it is. You guys know how I feel about politics, but like I had to troll the Q people this morning, and obviously they got quite upset. But whatever, it's all fake and gay, so let's just keep it rolling because I can't help anybody. But hopefully nobody's having a panic attack. The world isn't coming to an end, and if it is, check please. I'm done. Check please. Go ahead and take me out. All right. I'll be the first volunteer. So, Michael Thevis. Now, in regards to him, something interesting that I had started working on with Dare to Defy, and then Dare and Echo kind of took it and ran with it, but I think I'm going to wait a little while before we talk about it just because you know, it brings up the tiny hats of the porn industry, which makes me nervous with everything going on. Everything's so volatile right now. But one of the individuals that is involved is also from Greece. Her name is Chelly Wilson. So she is going to be another woman that we're going to be focusing on. And I just think it's interesting that it's two people that are very obviously tied into the mafia, that are from Greece, that have this kind of stranglehold within like the pornography, human trafficking industry. Hello, Mandy Diff. Hi, CC1234. Hi, Sub Sailor. Happy Hump Day. And who else? Michael Malloy. Hello. And hi, Occult Examiner. All right. So let's go ahead and let's get into it now. Am I going to give you his life story? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Going to be a lot of newspaper stuff. I've also got his FBI file, but guess what? It's like 900 pages. We're not doing any of that. We're not going to do any of that. So let me get this to where I need it to be. And yeah, we're going to have to bounce around just a little bit, but yeah, let's just go ahead and hit this one first because I'm going to show you guys the way that my brain is working with this. Because no, I'm not done with Thevis, unfortunately, and I'm not taking credit. Thevis has kind of been like my baby as far as like trying to flesh all of this out. And I don't really see an extensive history out there of him. I'm not saying I'm out here breaking new ground. I'm just pointing some things out as to why it's taking so long. So let me get this to work, and away we go. All right, so this is Mr. Michael Thevis. Okay, so Smut King success story. Now, this is May of 1969, right? And we're going to start with the article on the left from the Dayton Daily News right here. So, Mike Thevis is the personification of the new American success story, which says something about the climate of America these days. Oh, the irony. Mike has achieved his success in the classic pattern. He found a need, produced a product, and is reaping the rewards. Very simply, he gives the public what it certainly seems to want at the moment: pornography. And indeed he did. So, right there, censorship reflects a society's lack of confidence in itself. All right, well, whatever you say. Now, down here, this is kind of interesting. It says that certainly the courts have gotten nowhere trying to judge Thevis's morals. His only arrest in Atlanta occurred 7 years ago for what now seems an unexceptionable offense: distributing Playboy magazine. He beat the Playboy rap. He also came out on top in his only other major brush with the law. 3 years ago, Memphis cops carted off 3 truckloads of Thevis's magazines and books and burned them in the courtyard of the police station. Mike sued and won. All right, well, that's good and well. But over here, here's a little bit clearer photo. An ancient, serious problem is what Michael Thevis is here to identify. Wrong. However, it is interesting. He is a dropout of Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's location at that time is right across the street, I believe, from the Processes location in Atlanta. So just something to keep in mind. I think that that's a little bit weird. But right here, his publishing firm, one of them, Pendulum Publishing Company, specializes in theological tracts. Well, we're going to take a peek at that because that's not necessarily true, even though that is something that they publish. But he's all over the country by this time as far as his publications. You know, right there it says in Seoul, Korea, carrying his lurid paperbacks, right? And in Frankfurt, Bangkok, and Athens. But what's the most interesting thing right here? Thevis has links with the Ku Klux Klan, though he disclaims membership in the organization himself. He was campaign treasurer for former Georgia Klan dragon Calvin Craig in his recent unsuccessful race for Fulton County Sheriff. So if you didn't know that about Mike Thevis, well, now you do. Now you do. Because I actually found a video and I'm hoping I can get it to work. Let me pull up the link really quick. Part of the audio in this doesn't work, but I wanted to show you guys because I think that it's really interesting because, you know, the Klan does factor into this, especially when we're kind of talking about the Atlanta child murders. It's not, I don't blame the Klan by any means, but the Klan was still present at that time. And so it is just something to consider. You know, the way that I posit that argument is the process, right? Because the process, they are Nazis. They are literal Nazis. Okay, so it's not a stretch to ask if the process would infiltrate some sort of faction of the KKK, especially at that time. Because eventually I'm going to show you guys, I found a fascinating blog, thanks to EchoCat, of a former child of the process that, well, we're going to block you because I'm definitely not dealing with any of that foul language. For any of my mods, if you guys see that again, that would be great. If you guys could block them, just, you know, permanently. Thank you, Meatball. That's complete. Wow, is this what we're doing today? Please no. Please no. All right, so let me see if I can get this link to work because you guys know I'm not great with the videos. And there we go. All right. It says also share audio. Like I said, some of the audio is no good. So let's get it going. And this is all quiet. So can you guys see that okay? Hopefully you can. It's not really anything too enlightening. Let me skip to where I think the audio is. Yeah, see, it's still quiet. I mean, their outfits are kind of ridiculous, but whatever. And there they are. And we're moving and we're grooving. They look like, I mean, yeah, they look like wizards. I don't really know why they're wearing silk.
2,000 marching Negroes invaded your city and injured several white people with rocks, sticks, bottles, and so forth. I asked Governor Vanderbilt this time and the other state officials, why didn't you cite him or his cohorts for inciting a rout? I say this to you, Governor Vanderbilt,
So,
that you made it.
That's him. Just wanted to show you guys. I love old videos. I think that they kind of bring things into reality, you know what I mean? And also, I'm going to show you guys on this next slide because I have not done a full deep dive into this fella. But this photo is him in 1965 at the, hold on, because I got to turn my head to read it. The House Un-American Activities Committee. Yeah, it's gonna get a little bit weird. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh, okay, we getting spoopy up in here, right? Like you guys know that I live for this stuff. So I'm gonna just show you guys this photo that I found because whatever, I'm a big nerd. Sue me. So there he is. And this is from October 28th, 1965. Calvin Craig, Grand Dragon of the Georgia Klan, takes his oath before House Un-American Activities Committee October 28th. He repeatedly invoked the Fifth Amendment when questioned about charges that Georgia members of the KKK attended classes in which they learned how to bomb integrated department stores, burn homes and automobiles, and take over radio stations and power plants. Well, isn't that lovely, right? Doesn't he sound like a gem? Something to keep in mind when we are thinking of the Atlanta child murders. And I'm not going to say obviously because I'm not assuming anybody's baseline knowledge and the Atlanta child murders isn't necessarily my focus today, but there was a lot of weird and bad things going on at churches. So just something to keep in mind, because some of that stuff was sealed by Hoover, and it will never be released. It'll never be released. So, we can all kind of deduce from that. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. The Cowbell Klan, that's funny. Hello, Don Lambert. The process loved the Nazis. Yes, they did. Kelly Nora. And is that Dave Thomas from Wendy's? Jim, no. Hi, Janae. And didn't they come out of the Knights of the Golden Circle? Ivana, I do not know. I have no idea. I got a fever and the only prescription is word cowbell. Let me see. Sounds like the SLA. Patty Hearst. Well, the SLA is complicated. I mean, the SLA was fake. So I have pretty strong feelings about that. I don't really know. That's my opinion, that all of that was fake. There was all MK Ultra as far as what they were doing to Dufries. And hello, Brad Conley. So in regards to Thevis, we see that back in 1969, he's already a pretty well-established guy, right? So what we're going to do, I'm going to go back a couple of slides. I'm going to show you guys, because you know what? I'm going to show you the map first. That's what we're going to do. That way this makes more sense, because you're just going to be like, Dana, what the hell are you doing? Let me pull up the map, because I'm working on the mind map for this guy, and it's a real hellscape, and I'm not even done. So once you see it, I think maybe people will appreciate it a little bit more, or you won't. Who knows? I can't please everybody. Well, that's not the right thing that I wanted. Damn it. Did it not send? Oh, no, it didn't save the right thing, did it? Hold, please. Uno momento. Where did you go, you little hoe? You little hoe. Ah, there it is. Okay. Sorry, guys. All right. That is the one that I want. For some reason, it pulled up Ed Sanders Among the Damned. So don't need that right now, but thank you, Ed, for letting me know that you are lurking in my mind. All right, let's get this map going, because some of these people are going to tie into California, New York, the mafia, multiple mafia families, as well as the Hollywood LA scene that was going on, in particular with, some of that Cielo Drive crew. Hello, Eshni, and Hollis Keith. Hello. Ed Fields ran both the Nazi group and KKK in Atlanta. Subject an 8100 investigation. Interesting, and thank you, because I will absolutely come back to that. I don't have like a very great baseline knowledge of all of that. However, I want to know what's up with this dude. Plus the House Committee on Un-American Activities, however they pronounce it. I'm kind of obsessed with that, because it's really fascinating. It's extremely spooky. So here we go. Oh, why does it look like that? Hold, please. Let's make this bigger, huh? No, maximize. Thank you. Well, that's dumb. How do I do the full screen? Hold, please. Spotlight. No. Well, this is fake and gay. I'm telling you, I really hate this stupid thing. All right, so let's just zoom in. There we go. Dang, I don't know why it's doing that. All right. So this is the stupid map that I'm working on. Sorry that Restream is being dumb. However, if you guys can see this isn't even all the companies. Okay? This isn't all the companies. However, once you start digging into Michael Thevis, a lot of this is bookmarts, newsstands, publishing companies, things of that nature, including mobile bookmarts. But we also obviously have the music industry, real estate, and the film industry. Okay, we also have some other weird stuff in here that we're going to be going over in regards to an underage dance club. I think that this is where things probably got really dark with him from the jump. But backing out of here, over here, this is where we see, so like Ronald Tennant, we've talked about him before. That is Barry Seal's very good friend. James R. Haskins was a notorious pornographer in California. Now, all of these gentlemen right here, we have Friedman, Lund, Gundy, Mitchum, Kobe, William Parrish. These are all either incorporators or lawyers or a combination of both. And obviously, you see that there is a ton of crossover. William Parrish, in particular, is out of San Antonio, and I can't remember which other guy it is. He's someone that I'm focusing on because obviously I'm looking at, the stuff that's going on with the John Norman network, right? Because I've already made some connections there. But if we go over here to the other side, again, just some mafia stuff right here. So we've got DB, we've got Theodore Rothstein, Star Distributors. A lot of people know about that. That was one of the mafia's biggest, CSAM production distributors, whatever you want to call it. I still got to look into Media Distributors of New York. And we've got DB tied into Movie Maddox and the La Banque Eros Cinema in New Orleans. A couple of these other characters we'll be coming back to. And just to explain to you guys my logic here, the Chaparral or Chaparral Bookmart and the Corpus Christi Bookmart. So these were two bookmarts that were under the umbrella of cinematics, in particular, in regards to the peep show machines being raided when they were doing these, obscenity raids. Those are not far from where Roy Ames is, where John Norman is, where Philip Paskey is, and that's the best way that I'm finding to flesh out all of this information is figuring out who is where and who is controlling what. But again, this is literally just a fraction of the information. So hopefully that explains all of the newspaper articles that you're about to see and why I have them highlighted as such. I think there's a connection to the process in Jim Jones, which is a different story than the public has heard. Ivana, you have my attention. You have my attention. I literally have, even though I had it reworked and it's not done, but originally it was a quote from Jim Jones tattooed on my body. So please tell me more. Hello, Maureen Laforme. Hello, Joker 37. Divine 9 and Boule. Isn't Boule like the Black Illuminati? I could be speaking out of turn. I know that W.E. B. Dubois, wasn't he part of the Boule? KKK founded by the Little Hats, Harry Hubbard. I've always wondered why the titles of KKK leadership sound like ridiculous names of characters from Dungeons and Dragons. I was literally going to say that they look like they should be playing Dungeons and Dragons, but I didn't want to offend anybody. I also didn't want Doug, Lucy, and Dougie to be like, no, Dungeons and Dragons, that's Satanic Panic. Let me see who else popped in. Quill and Dagger Fraternity. And you guys are talking about Dennis Wilson, Skull and Dagger. All right. And hello, Carrie. Trying to find links right now. And Jeremy Barnes. Hello. Thank you. All right, Ivana. Well, holla at me, girl, because I absolutely think that there is a tie from Jim Jones to the process because they're all right there. It's not that I'm trying to tie the process to everything. It's that the process is connected to a lot of weird stuff. And hello, Seashore Mary. And Carrie, welcome from the Cosmic Salon. I have not talked to her in a hot minute, but if you do talk to her, tell her that I said hello. All right, so let's get it rolling because some of this stuff goes way, way back. That way you can see that that one article that we just read wasn't really honest. Wasn't really honest. Is anybody surprised? So, right here, we have Obscenity Indictment Names 3. This is the Atlanta Journal, August 31st, 1957. Michael C. Thevis. I don't know why they put C. Thevis. It's G. And then they named two other characters connected with the news shop on Marietta Street. Then we have over here, 1961, the Atlanta Journal, 8 indicted on charges of obscenity, and it lists everybody off. Some of those you saw on that map. And over here, 10 indicted in obscene book quiz. So already we see some tomfoolery here with my boy, right? Because he's the owner of the news shop and Dixie News Company. But then we have other people, right, that are co-owner of Dixie News Company, co-owner of World News, co-owner of this, co-owner of that. It's a real hellscape, right? So let's keep going. Now, here is another article. Again, this is a bit of a puff piece from 1969. Meet Mike, the king of smut. And it's basically kind of rehashing some of the other information that we went over. At this time, the reason why he was really in the press, he's very smart as far as his PR campaigns, but he's time that the Georgia Power Company, one of his landlords, is trying to evict him from his Johnny Reb's book and card shop on Peachtree Street. So over here, though, 4 newsstands are raided October 25th, 1969, Times-Picayune. Okay. We got Frederick Lund. It's one of those attorneys that we just saw there, right? We're going to see a lot more of that. I'm not going through all of the other names, but, there's the New Orleans bookmark. All of these little bookmarks, okay? All of these little bookmarks. I don't know why I highlighted that. Right here. That is why I highlighted it. Hold, please. The 5 arrested could get a maximum sentence of a year for the sale of pornography or 5 years hard labor for sale to juveniles. Yeah, so they're doing that at that time. Okay? They're already doing that at that time. That's why I underlined that. We already looked at that. We've already looked at that. So here we go. This is where, again, he's getting into a lot of legal trouble. He's getting into a lot of legal trouble with his wife. This is October 16th, 1969, the Atlanta Constitution. Thevis and his wife, Joan, were indicted on 17 obscenity counts. And already we see the business, shell companies, whatever you'd like to call them, all being listed here. No, it's not all of them, but at least we're getting an idea. The Book Bin Incorporated, Peachtree News Co., Inc., Pendulum Books, Inc., Peachtree National Distributors, Inc., blah, 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 and mailing and shipping obscene matters into 9 states, Illinois, Colorado, Alabama, Indiana, New York, California, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas. Oh, and look, we've also got Florida and DC right there, right? And again, the Atlantan facing charges in obscenity. Peachtree News Service. So see Peachtree News Company, Inc. versus Peachtree News Service. Yes, these are all different things. Isn't this fun? Isn't this fun? It's great. It's absolutely fake. But up there, news firm, quote unquote, because that's how he peddled himself to the public, was a news firm, right? And that's how with a lot of this stuff. Whoop, Jesus, man, what's going on here? All right, there we go. I got butterfingers. Forgive me. Oh, now is it not going to zoom? Why are you doing that, you little nasty? Hold on. Give me a second. Oh, it's frozen. Hold, please. Are we doing this today? Is this what we're doing? It's not what I want to do. Let's try this one more time. Okay. Sorry. I really should give up on Restream. I've said it enough times. I mean, it seems like a nice update, but I'm tech stupid, so I don't understand what the hell it's doing. I don't see the benefits. Oh, wow. It's literally not letting me zoom at all. This is fantastic. Okay. Can you guys see me? Am I frozen? Because that would suck. That would really, really suck. Dang. Why is it doing that? Come on now. Is that better? Can you guys see that better? I don't really know. Someone tell me what's going on. I'm very embarrassed right now. Come on now. Yay, nay, Bueller. Anybody in the chat? Can anybody tell me if you guys can read any of this? Because this is literally not letting me zoom in. Excuse my French. Fuck it. I'm going to close it and open it up again, and let's see if we can make it work. And Leash, you are not late enough that it matters. You're here. That's what matters. Totally fine. It's all porn stuff, a little bit of KKK, that old chestnut. America, right? America. So let's see if I can make this work this time. I'm good. All right, cool. Let's see if we can make this work. Let me get that out of the way. We're going to reopen this and better work, you little freak. All right, let's try it one more time. Come on, PowerPoint. And away we go. All right, let's go. Come on. Hey, there we go. Beautiful. So, are you the dirty half dozen? October 16th, 1969. Again, going through some of these lovely magazine titles, ranging from Deers and Rears to Yum Yum. Okay, whatever. Talking about movies, also talking about magazines. But here again, we have the Adult Mart, we have the Galaxy Book Mart, we have Buckhead Book Mart, we have Pershing Point Book Mart. Oh, look, there's Johnny Rebs and Amuse. Distributor, Michael Thevis. Over here, 9-state smut charge to 2 at Chambly. Michael G. Thevis Jr. and his wife Joan. And there are the other businesses named as co-defendants. And again, same thing, hearing on obscene material, postponed, blah, 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 blah. Now, over here, I found this very, very fascinating. This one. So 106 Forsyth Corporation doing business as Saddle and Stirrup. 106 Forsyth Corporation is a business that is owned by Michael Thevis. Okay, so that is something for people to keep in mind because I'm going to try to track down every single business that this dude owns. So here we go again, pretty much the same stuff, right? Except for over here, we're getting into some more detail as far as the specifics. Prosecutor vows, smut crackdown, the Atlanta Journal, August 2nd, 1969. Thevis, again, getting in trouble. But, well, you know, they're talking about the cops found stuff with bestiality. So that's real gross and obviously makes me think of The Process. Yeah, that's exactly what it makes me think of. Over here, bookstore operator will face court today. Blah, 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 blah. But see, a lot of this stuff is just newsstands, right? A lot of this stuff is just newsstands. Over here, Georgia Power is sued by the newsstand. Well, we talked about that a little bit earlier, right? Power firm is censors suit claims. Talking about the Georgia Power Company. And up here, girly magazines. Don't really love the title of that, but the American Publishers and Distributors Association, whose members deal in what can be called art and sex and nudity, announced it will institute a program to police its own members. At a press conference at the Ilokai Hotel yesterday, Michael Thevis, association president, said in order to establish guidelines regarding adult-type material, the group has adopted an affirmative industry-wide resolution. Robert Smith, attorney for the association, they're sitting there giving their blah, 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 blah. Whole bunch of lip service, right? But this was a meeting in Hawaii from October of 1969, and the APDA, that is something that Thevis created himself. And over here, the obscenity ruling appeal. I'm trying to find every single location because, yes, it is in numerous states. I'm focusing right now on the states that are important. And by important, I mean where I know that there's some tomfoolery going on. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's continue. So right here, again, obscenity case is ordered and signed. For those that are not familiar with the Times-Picayune website, this is a separate subscription. That's why these newspapers look a little bit differently. But right here, Delta Book Distributors. These fools, and it's not the first time that they do it, but they literally sued Jim Garrison. Okay, Jim Garrison of JFK fame. Yeah? Pretty wild. Pretty ballsy move, but these people literally don't care about anything. And then 2 arrested in raids on newsstands file suit. So this was a couple months later in November. But again, A1 newsstand. Where's the other one? St. Charles Bookstore. These are all things that fall under Thevis's umbrella. Obviously, some of these people are just random people that are getting taken down. Right? These are just people that are actually working at the bookstore themselves. But it's not the first time that they will try to sue Garrison. So look at all of this. Isn't this fun? Right? Lots of these cases going on all at one time. He's getting in a lot of trouble between Georgia. Eventually, we're going to see Texas too at the exact same time, and a lot in New Orleans. Okay? But down here, They just be out here suing everybody. Because look, right there. Mobile Bookmark, Cinematics Inc., Alabama. But that's Thevis's. Thevis owns that. Okay. Down here, this is stuff that is going on in St. Louis, Missouri. However, the leased motion pictures machines for Cinematics Inc. of Atlanta. That's Thevis. That is him. And also DB, also DiBernardo, right? And right here, Atlanta bookstore operator indicted again, May 21st, 1970, the Macon News. And this is citing Peachtree News Company Incorporated at that time. Let's move up here and see what we've got going on in NOLA. So there are his other ones. Erato Enterprises, Eros Cinema Inc., New Orleans Bookmart, and the Gravier Bookmart Incorporated. And again, suing DA Jim Garrison. The balls on these people. The balls on these people. Because if you guys had noticed that DB was a shareholder or co-owner of the Eros, God, what did they call it? We're going to see it in a little bit, but it is the Eros Theater there in New Orleans. So I think that it's completely insane that a mobster was trying to sue Jim Garrison, but that also makes sense because I'm pretty sure that the mafia hated Garrison, right? And then they keep filing for all of these restraining orders. Don't come into our porno theater. We're not doing anything wrong, right? Okay. And then four-face warrants here on smut book charges. The Atlanta Journal, 1970. He's a busy boy. Yeah, he's a busy boy. But over here, we've got Classic Art Adult Bookstore. We've got Buckhead Bookmart again. There is Johnny Rebs and the Galaxy Adult Bookstore and the Classic Art Theater. Oh, and then, in California, we've got one of these theaters that ends up burning down. Well, what theater is this? What theater is this? It's the Eros Theater. Imagine that. It's the Eros Theater. Because again, all of this everywhere. He's all over the country. Some of these people are a bit more prolific than others. However, this is how we track them. And by 1970, they're pretty much just, getting to the point that it absolutely is his empire. But he did start working in, I guess you could say, public, where he operated a newsstand all the way back in the late 1950s and also had a shoe shine stand. Obviously, this makes my Kill Bill sirens go off when I'm thinking about the situation in Canada, right? With the Shoeshine Boy murders, as well as some of the Shoeshine cases that were going on in New York as well, right? But this is just here giving a really lovely, maybe boring history as far as the specifics of his life and businesses. I would like to point out, though, that in 1949, he was given a 4-year suspended sentence on charges of breaking and entering an attempted robbery in North Carolina. So remember that first article? Remember how I said they lied? Yeah, of course they lie. This dude has been getting arrested and skirting things since the beginning of his career, which is just completely insane to me. Now, I want to look at the chat really quick before I continue. Let me see. I'm going to listen. I don't have my glasses on. Yeah, I thought about putting back on those sunglasses, but then I look like a fly, so I'm not going to do that. The Pope too. Okay, you guys are talking about other stuff, and imagine how many Nazi cults the Vatican is funding through Mayorkas in South America right now. Well, Saint Ignatius was not a Murano. I have no idea what you guys are talking about, and I'm pretty sure that Desert Rain told me what a Murano was last time, I think. I'm not going to say it because I could be wrong, and then I'm just going to look stupid and cancel myself. Hello, Pete Thomas, and everything is fine. All right, cool. Yeah, everybody's gravy? Awesome. Let's go ahead and let's continue. Because I don't know if I actually want to sit here and go through... actually, we need to look at this one because this is going to show the blooms particularly the son and I don't know if this name's the mother and the father, but Uno momento. Yeah, we're going to get into this Eros Theater blow up. All right, let's go ahead and let's get into it. So now we're heading over to the other coast. It's coast to coast human trafficking, baby. That's where all the money is, right? So right here, 10 persons and 4 firms indicted by U.S. jury. That is, what does that say? The Progress Bulletin, December 23rd, 1970. Indicted by a federal grand jury on pornography charges. Okay, that's all good and well. So see, we have all of these interesting names. We've got Linetsky Productions, Photo News Monthly. Photographers are very important. I would like to point out this statement right here. He said, in every case, substantial mailings of unsolicited material were received by juveniles. Juveniles, okay? Kids. Right here, we've got PBZ. That's going to come up with the mafia. Okay, that is a mafia cutout. And right here, Noel C. Bloom. You guys saw Bernard Bloom and Noel. Noel is his son. There's actually Bernard right there. Cal Mail Inc. Okay, and then we've got right here. Do they have a company name? No, they do not. So we will move on. Over here, 10 persons indicted for smut. Same thing, right? Unsolicited pornography. But I am glad that they specify that this stuff was being received by kids. Okay. And again, same thing, same thing, same thing. And over here, a little bit more from New Orleans. Because we have a new name here, Fred Lund, the New Orleans bookmark. This guy is going to be a key player, especially when we are looking at the networks in New Orleans and in California and how they are working in concert. And then Delta Book Distributors, we've seen that. That is actually out of Slidell, the manager, Robert Humphrey. Now, why do I think that that's interesting? Because according to Timothy Wiley in Love, Sex, or no, not in Love, Sex, Fear, and Death and Wisdom of the Watchers, the de Grimstons actually had a house in Slidell. They were not down in the main strip where everybody else was. So it's just some food for thought. I'm not saying one way or the other. Now, in regards to the explosion, August 5th, 1970, the Eros Theater, where 2 managers and 2 employees were arrested by police late yesterday and 6 allegedly obscene films were seized, was the scene of an explosion and fire early this morning. Now, all right. Pretty sus. Says that they had 7 cardboard boxes that were filled and other books and magazines scattered in and out of the building. According to police reports, it says that Alfred went of Fresno and leased to Procene Productions. Procene, like processing. Sorry, that's just what went through my head when I found this. It, again, made my Kill Bill sirens go off. But let's keep going. So, talking about the raid and the fire at the theater. Okay, so we're going to see this more than once. I know that I have discussed it one time already. But they do believe that this fire was due to some type of arson, right? Says that it appeared someone poured an inflammable liquid at several locations in the Eros Theater and touched it off. Okay. And already over here, go right here. This is from the Oregonian, September 16th, 1970. Skin type movies are blossoming in the city. And right there, we've got James R. Haskin. You guys already actually saw him on that map. But according to these individuals that are involved with the Eros Theater in Oregon, Portland is the mecca of porn at that time. So, a lot of bullshit that we're going to have to get through. Excuse my French, but this is a lot. So, this one right here, August 9th, 1971, the Pussycat Theater, 106 Forsyth Corp. Marietta Street. Okay, that's good and well. And over here, again, the Eros Theater. Got a lot of crossover with these names of folks that are getting arrested. Everybody's getting in trouble. Everybody's getting in trouble. Coast to coast. How do we tie them together? Yes, they love their fires, Tawny C. Absolutely. They got to get rid of the evidence, right? How do we tie them together, though? It's all these random ass people that have their names on the paperwork and their attorneys, because that's how I was able to tie it to John Norman, right? But right over here, Thevis getting sentenced to, 5 years, so they say. But we have a mention of the satellite newsstand in Biloxi and the Comet newsstand in the same city. Okay. He's also getting in trouble in Florida. We've got him Biloxi, Atlanta, New Orleans, Florida. He's everywhere. He's a busy guy. Now, in regards to the Pussycat Theater, let me bear with me for a moment, talk amongst yourselves. I am going to find this very fascinating connection that I found. And I know that I showed it on Twitter, but I know that I haven't shown it here. In regards to something that everybody should consider, for those of you that are familiar with the Franklin scandal, Michael Thevis was from everything that I've been able to find, one of the first individuals that opened up a theater in Omaha. Yeah, in Omaha. So let me see if I can get this open, and if I can't, well, screw it. I guess it'll just depend on how patient everybody is. Maybe it's in my Rothstein folder. I've also found photos of John Norman as a child. For those who are familiar with who John Norman is, it is absolutely terrifying. And he was a Boy Scout. I don't know why that would surprise anybody, but that is something that we are going to be coming back to. I'm literally just talking to fill the dead air until I can find this article, since I am obviously not prepared. Give me one moment. I'm sure that the lurkers that are lurking are finding great joy in the lack of my preparation. But hey, quite frankly, I don't give a fuck. Let me see. Sturman, are you my boy? Is this where it's at, Sturman? I don't really know. And I can't pull up my Twitter because I'm not on the right computer. So where did we go? Where did we go? I can't sing. I shouldn't do that to you guys. Hold on. Oh, you dirty little hoe. Where did you put that? I know you didn't get rid of it. Wow. I literally cannot find it. What did I do with it? Now I want to know. I don't even know if people are still here because I don't even have the chat pulled up. You know what? It's my channel. I'm going to do what I want. I can't make anybody happy, obviously. So, where are we? Do I have... Oh, there it is, huh? I have an entire PowerPoint for Thevis and Omaha. Beautiful. Guess how many PowerPoints I have? I have 85. I have 85 PowerPoints. So, for people that want to sit there and give me a hard time, kick rocks. Kick rocks. Let me tighten this up a little bit, and I'll just show you guys, because I really wasn't planning on showing it. But since we're talking about the Pussycat Theater, might as well. That way you guys can see that there is very likely going to be some crossover. It's really fascinating, the stuff that these people are allowed to get away with. I would imagine that a lot of that is due to the blackmail that they have on everybody. And I would say that no, your modern day leaders are not excluded from all of this nonsense. Blackmail makes the world go round, but the Q people hate hearing that. They hate hearing that. Let me... Damn, this thing is a freaking mess. Let me at least make this one page visible. Excuse me, please. You gonna do it? All right, cool. Let's do that. Thank you. And you. Beautiful. And you go here. Don't judge me, guys. I'll let you guys know what I'm doing while I'm talking. But, or while I'm setting this up, not while I'm talking. Jesus. I am ripping all of my videos. That way I have a backup channel. Yeah. And that way you guys don't have to worry about me disappearing since everybody keeps disappearing, right? That's what everybody keeps telling me to do. So, let me get this over here. Thank you for showing back up. So that's taking a lot of time because I have to compress the videos. There we go. All right, so we're gonna rip through. We're gonna go. Sorry, I think that sounded a little bit loud. All right, let's go ahead and rip. Here we go. So keep in mind, Larry King of the Franklin scandal. Just keep it in mind. It's just food for thought, right? Because obviously he didn't just start doing that out of nowhere. Yeah. So here we go. The Lincoln Journal Star, Friday, December 25th, 1970. Georgian under indictments. Omaha mini theaters to show skin flicks. Voila. Voila. George Michael Thevis Jr., an Atlanta bookseller and magazine distributor, charged with violations of obscenity laws in several states but never convicted. Also owns Global Leasing Company, which holds the lease on an Omaha building owned by Sedaris Panos Realty Company. Bada boom, bada bing. Oh, and look, there's his other lawyer, Mel Friedman, officer of American Theater Corps. Imagine that. Isn't that fascinating, right? So, Thevis firm leases Pussycat building. There you go. 1314-16 Douglas Street, which the city of Omaha is attempting to close on grounds the film it shows are obscene. Not going to sit here and really rip through everything, but that's the guy. We got another Barry. It's obviously a common name that's been coming up in my research, but he is the manager of the Pussycat Theater. Now, I highlighted this over here in the corner because this is very interesting to me. The mayor said he took actions to get the theater closed before he left town Thursday to confer in New York with some major stockholders of the Omaha Union Stockyards Company. Yeah, I bet he did. So, let's go ahead and go to the last one. This right here is from a court report in regards to this case. June 5th, 1975, the American Theater Corporation, a Nebraska corporation doing business as the Pussycat Theater. Oh, we've got Robert Eugene Smith, and we've also got Gilbert H. Deitch. Who's that? That's the lawyer that I found that was the exact same lawyer for Roy C. Ames. Yes, that is Roy C. Ames of the John Norman Network that also has connections directly to Bothell. Now, if we go over here, it says that the evidence is undisputed that a so-called private showing of the movie Deep Throat had been arranged at the defendant's theater by telephone solicitation among a group of 75 to 90 people. These people paid $7 per couple to the defendant's manager, who then placed their names on a list of those who would be authorized to enter the particular portion of the theater where the film would be shown. When it became apparent that the police intended to take action against the film and the defendant, an attempt was made to alter the showing in progress by switching films and forcibly to prevent the police from seizing the film. Ah. Well. So we have Deep Throat coming into the mix already. Not going to get into it today. However, you think any of the people on that list were getting blackmailed? Yeah? You think? Do you think? Because I think, right? Because Thevis is already mobbed up at this time. He's just lying about it. Yeah? Any connects between the Omaha Pussycat Theater to the California Pussycat Theater chain of process, Deep Throat, franchisee, mobster funded? Well, I haven't gotten that far yet, Operation GCD, but you read my mind because that's literally what I'm thinking of. They had some Pussycat theaters peppered everywhere, but that is absolutely what I think is going on. So we'll be coming back to that because blackmail makes the world go round, right? Makes the world go round. Now we're just going to look at a couple fun, maybe not fun articles. I don't think that any of this is fun. I think that the mob is complete trash, and I'll digress for a moment. I was trying to hunt down some stuff in regards to DeMeo, in particular, in regards to CSAM, the production or distribution of it. And when you go on some of these forums online, it's amazing that there are people out there that are threatening the original posters of some of this stuff for speaking poorly of their dearly deceased meatball heroes. And this is why I am on a mission from God or hell, depending on who you ask, to get all of this out here in some sort of digestible way eventually. Eventually. Because eventually this is going to shoehorn directly into the Son of Sam and the Atlanta child murders. But let's go ahead and continue. So, right here we have Expressa News, December 19th, 1971. This is talking about the Apollo News on East Houston Street. And it says that it is a unit of a far-flung conglomerate based in Atlanta. Oh, imagine that. Michael G. Thevis, who reportedly controls the lion's share of the nation's sex peep show machines. But oh, look, we have his lawyer again, Robert Mitchum, who he is listed on the Apollo News paperwork as well, right? But they cite him here as Thevis's right-hand man. So, continuing on. Oh, look, there's Cinematic, right? The peep show machines in particular. Authorities say is controlled by Thevis in Georgia. And the Apollo shop features format girly books published by Pendulum Books, which Thevis also controls. Imagine that. They're also talking about the New Orleans Book Mart and these other federal obscenity cases. And over here, SA Porn Mob Link. This is just a continuation of the other article that we were looking at, but says the Apollo has been the largest of a series of raids by San Antonio police in recent months. And in Laredo, there was a murder of an operator of a porno theater. Lengthy investigation. We are going to see that Michael Thevis has a bit of a temper problem, and he really just likes running around and killing everybody. From the Atlanta Journal, August 11th, 1971, this is his very, very fancy house that he had built. I do not know if this is the same house that Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston moved into, but it very well could be, and I'll come back to that at another time. But if you didn't know that, yes, they did. They moved into Michael Thevis's house. And again, here in Jacksonville, Wednesday, June 23rd, 1971. The national kingpin of pornography, indicted on all 12 counts. Again. There we go. It's also coming up in Texas, right? Agent review pornography case roll. Imagine that. All of those companies that we were talking about, right? Here they are all coming together. This FBI agent went undercover. And look, we've got his lawyers, Robert Mitchum, Frederick Lund. Yeah, we've got the New Orleans Book Mart, St. Peter Street Bookstore, Broad Street Book Mart. We've also got Delta Distributing Company. Yeah, and we also have Peachtree News, Peachtree National Distributors, Inc., and Pendulum Books. Isn't this all just a hot mess? It's a damn hot mess, right? So, we're literally only in 1971, and we started out at 1969, roughly. Yeah, but jury indicts Thevis in New Orleans, and whoops, there we go. New Orleans. Thevis, Frederick Lund. Again, now Gary Van Gundy. He's going to come up when we're looking at the Texas raids. He's going to be one of the first names that are cited, and I cannot find where the raids are occurring, but I would love to know, as I do think that Gundy may have some ties to the John Norman Network. And over here, you guys saw Dale Kobe. There is Robert Mitchum. All of these companies just keep getting cited, right? Thevis, others indicted on obscenity charge. There is Mel Friedman, his attorney, Robert Mitchum. Blah, 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 blah. Isn't this fun? Isn't it fun? But I have to put it here, that way you guys can see it. You guys get just a little peppering of the torture, right? Just a little peppering of it. Smut figure loses round in court. Okay. And again, listing off all of these names, Sylvia Kamechis is a very interesting employee of Michael Thevis, and we will be coming back to her at another time. But oh, look, there is Bernard Bloom of Los Angeles, part of the Thevis network as well. Isn't that fascinating? I sure think it is. I sure think it is. And over there, porno dealers, business data given probers, blah, 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 blah. Moving on. So, now we up in NOLA. Here it is. I'm going to just say right now, blanket statement. Don't care what you think of me. Don't care how crazy you think that I am. Zodiaction. I think that that's a nod to the process. Okay. Sorry. And yes, main mob guy was Carlos Marcello. I've got his FBI file. I just got it. So, I hate my life right now. I will be Thevis and Smuthead. Shut up. That's ridiculous. All right, so Zodiaction. That's what the Eros Cinema Incorporated was showing. And again, obviously, yeah, a little bit process weirdness, right? But down here, same year, November 6th, 1971, Le Banque, also known as Eros Cinema Incorporated, 941 Decatur, padlocked for a period of 1 year. Who's listed as the owners? We have Michael Thevis and Robert D.B. DiBernardo. Da 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 da. The meatballs have entered the chat, even though they've been in the background the entire time. Right? But we have all of these other raids. And we also have some very interesting articles about his attorneys. We have Ronald Tennant and Michael Silvers. Silver Thevis Music Company. That's Michael Silvers. Ronald Tennant. That's Barry Seal's boy, who also had a daycare inside of Michael Thevis' studio, which I'm not really ready to deal with right now. However, let's continue. Moving on over here. Obscenity case jury selected. There we go. There are all of his companies named again, right? Named again. And I just thought that that was interesting. This little article right here with the Eros Cinema, Les Banques Cinema Fantastique, the bank opening soon. New Orleans' newest and most luxurious adult cinema. 2 separate features at all times. And it says adults only, but obviously we know that that's not the case. And yes, Mamma Mia is a very spicy meatball. Yeah, well, it's a bunch of freaking pedo meatballs. Anyways, let's move on. So, right here, we're going to start with the article on the left. This one, 3 won't testify in Thevis case. Atlanta Constitution, 1972, August 23rd. Okay. Satellite News was a Houston, Texas Thevis company. What does this have to do with anything? Right here, we have Roger Dean Underhill. This is one of the most notorious assassinations that he was involved in. Okay. Was the assassination of Roger Dean Underhill, who ended up going state's witness against Thevis and was brutally murdered. We also have Sylvia Kamechis being listed again, as well as a couple other characters. But Underhill and his wife were arrested and charged December 1968 while holding up a downtown Atlanta coin store. Okay, so we're going to be coming back to that because it would seem that Roger Dean Underhill was in Texas quite a bit. And when I'm looking at Texas, I'm looking for John Norman. I'm looking for Roy Ames. I'm looking for the people in those networks. I'm looking for Paskey. I'm looking for other people that are connected to Gacy because there's someone else in the Atlanta Child Murders Network that is identical to Gacy as far as his career, and I don't know if it's been overlooked, but we're going to talk about it. So remember, I talked about Van Gundy. So Van Gundy allegedly managed Rivergate, and Lund managed several of Thevis's retail outlets in New Orleans. But look, right there, we have Stanley Fleischman. He's a very shady attorney out of LA, but then we've also got Barry Seal's buddy Ronald Tennant, and Michael Silvers, as well as Robert Smith. These are all the same attorneys, guys. We're going to keep seeing them over and over again. And right here, obscenity asserted, again highlighting that Stanley Fleischman is a Hollywood attorney coming out to represent this individual, this very disgusting individual. But over here, now we're getting into some of the alignment in particular. And no, this isn't a full history. I'm just trying to drop names and kind of plant seeds. Police throw the book at 12. But we've got little meatballs because Martin Hodas, president of East Coast Cinematics, meatball, tied directly into Thevis. We've got Robert DiBernardo, or DB, officer of Star Distributors. Who else do we got down here? Irving Herman is a very interesting character, president of GI Distributors, and Nathan Grema, an officer of Star Distributors. So, we're starting to see a lot of that crossover there. But let's go back to Oregon for a second. Porno sales here and smut cartel tied. So this is a game that we are going to see frequently, and if you're familiar with this stuff, then you've already seen it, where these jackwagons like to sit there and say, I don't know anybody in the mafia. Nope, not me. Lies. It's all a lie. So down here, where do we have Thevis and his dude? Well, let's look right here. The murder of Jap Hanna right here, another Thevis employee. So in 1970, that one is a bit more well known, a bit. But I'm not really focused on that one. It's not that I don't think that his death murders, or that his death matters, not murders. Excuse me. Let me wet my whistle. But in regards to Roger Dean Underhill, the whole going state's witness and being in Texas, I think that there's some smoke there. It's just going to take some time fleshing it out. But right here, we've seen James R. Haskins, right? Right there in Portland. But he's out of Los Angeles. And again, mention of the Eros Theater. And they both deny it. Both Haskin and Thevis at that time denied they were in business together, but an investigation of corporation records in Oregon, California, Missouri, and Georgia shows that one of Thevis's top-ranking employees helped form Haskin's Eros Theater Corporation in Kansas City in 1970. Who was it? Robert Mitchum. Oh, imagine that. Mitchum was the original president of Thevis's Cinematics Corp. in Atlanta, a maker of hardcore sex films, and is now listed as president of the Northwest Theaters Incorporated, operator of the Pussycat Theaters and bookstores in Oregon. You see what a hellscape this is? Seriously, if I had a team of people working on all of this at the exact same time, don't you get weird on me. I could probably get through this a lot faster. Now, right here, Thevis's interests include Peachtree National Distributors, Global Leasing Corp., Cinematics, Pendulum Books, Johnny Reb Newsstand, Dinkler Cigar Stand, I don't like that name, Star Center, 106 Forsyth Corp., MGT Corp., Metro Dance Club Inc., Transportation Center of Atlanta Incorporated, Automatic Enterprises, Book Bin Inc., and Mini Movies Inc. So, what I want to show you guys for the moment is the Metro Dance Club. Because I don't like this. I don't like the Metro Dance Club. When I found it, it made me very upset. I have not been able to find the transportation company, which also makes me very upset because I'm just very curious as to who or what they are moving. But let's go ahead and show this. And I've also got an ad for the Johnny Rebs. That way you guys can see it, because you know that I love showing you guys ads. So I'm going to take a puff, wet my whistle, and then we're going to get into it. Because I'm going to tell you guys my opinion right now in regards to this. I think that this is the beginning. And I don't have proof. But I think that this is the beginning of what ended up being very likely the blackmail operation involving the former inner circle of Martin Luther King. Okay? And again, this is just my opinion. But I've been working on Thevis for a hot minute. And yeah, I should write a book about Thevis, but we all know that's not going to happen. If I could get these maps done, then maybe I could sit down and like think. But, then I just get obsessed with, identifying all of the people involved because sometimes it is these stupid random people. Not that the people are stupid, but it's just these random people that you find, And then I'm on a journey trying to find them into their life history. Because how many times has that worked out for us? A lot. A lot. But in regards to Johnny Rebs, I think it's interesting the stuff that they're schlepping at that time. Thank you, Meatball, for plugging that. I'm not going to say what it is. Not joking, connected along with DB. There's a Charles involved that is of mention in this ring. Can't remember the name. Are you talking about the East Coast Charles Manson? I can't remember that guy's name. But there was like a mirror cult. And yes, Tamara Doherty, DB is New York Mob. Yeah, he's D. Cavalcante, Bonanno. He floats through a couple of them. And then I think by the time he went missing, I think it was the Gambinos. But, just like everything else with these cults, the more that I'm studying the mafia from this angle, it's the same thing. Greasing of palms, shaking hands, kissing babies. You know what I mean? Yes, it's menthol. East Coast Charles. I will look it up and I will get back to you. Dang. Not a voter, but happy Orange Man. Bad one just to watch the internet lose its mind. Well, Can I tell you guys my thoughts on that just a little bit? I'll divert for a moment. MLK equals Boulay. I have heard that RR channel, so yeah, it's complicated, but that book, The List, that's kind of the observation that the author concludes. And I do think that it tracks, but these things don't happen in a vacuum, right? And this, because I don't know if I told you guys, but I went down and like drove through all of like where all these locations were, like Peachtree, and it has some bad energy down there, not gonna lie. Probably because of just what was going through my mind with what I know about Thevis. In regards to whatever the fake and gay, politics, I would just like to say for those that are fans or know of Matthew North, go watch Joe Rogan's interview with Tim Dillon from last night, or wherever Matthew North may or may not be. He was right. He was right. So I would go listen to that because literally Joe Rogan sitting there talking about, it's our president's going to be AI and this and that. And I thought it was really crazy that Dana White was on stage. The last person that he thanked was Joe Rogan. And I told you guys like last week that the podcast stuff was a weird psyop. I told you guys that. I'm not saying it was like my original idea. I'm just saying I'm going to take the win with that one because I was right. Because they're all like, it's because of the podcast. And I'm like, well, duh. Because I ain't going to get Camelama Ding Dong on there. She ain't going to be able to answer any questions. Talking about freaking the wheels on the bus go round and round while we're falling out of coconut trees, right? But whatever. Let people lose their minds. Everybody thinks that a politician's going to save them, and it's not. And yes, I love Tim Dillon too. And if they were to appoint him into office, it was a meme that was running around. As long as he wears the costume of Epstein's weird ritual castle, all right, I could be down with that. That would be the only politician I would be down with. So, right here. This is Thevis's Metro Dance Club. Now there were hundreds of ads. So what I did is I grabbed the ad when it changed specifically. All right, but this goes back to 1964. Join Atlanta's newest, most exciting dance club. Dance and have fun in a warm, friendly, respectable atmosphere. Selective membership. All new memberships less than $50. Teenager. Part-time. To help promote teenage dance club. Okay. Interviewer, supervisor, and dance instructor. Exceptional opportunity for 3 ambitious young men with a prestige organization. Must be neat, have a winning personality. The note, it just says 3 ambitious young men. Again, down here, join Atlanta's newest, most exciting dance club. Dance and have fun. Blah, 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 blah. Right here. Receptionist and interviewer, dance instructors. Outstanding opportunity with prestigious organization for 5 above average young ladies, 21 to 28. Must be attractive, have a pleasant personality. I think it's weird that they specify ages with the women and not the guys, right? So here we have some other ads. Dance club. Well, this doesn't really look like a teenage dance club, does it? Doesn't really look like a teenage dance club. Seems real weird to me. Be popular and save money too. Okay, I'm sure that guy's really stressing about money. And then over here, this is the bookshop that I referenced. Obviously, are they selling stuff for schools? I don't really know. It says that they have study aids. I don't know specifically what study aids they were selling, but this very large and blurry, kind of hard to read right here from February 27th, 1965. This is the last ad that you see for this club. Membership and Metro Dance Club, private lessons, large discount. That spooks me out. Okay? That spooks me out. Maybe it shouldn't. People here wouldn't be the first time that somebody calls me crazy. But I had to show you guys that because I do think that is very weird. And that's kind of the starting point in my mind as far as activity that I can track specifically with kids, because it is kids. Now, let's get to Texas, and obviously New Orleans, and hey, we've still got some of Georgia, because it's all going on at one time, and that's why a lot of this stuff is so hard to track. But I do think that it's really important. I'm sorry, I have not found anything anywhere detailing Michael Thevis's business empire to a T. I just haven't. And I think that the fact that he was the boss of Wayne Williams, I think that that's weird. And I think that one of MLK's former inner circle, Andrew Young, who was the ambassador to the UN under Jimmy Carter, is taking or not taking, depending on who you ask, almost $500,000 from Michael Thevis while he's in prison, facing RICO charges, facing murder charges on top of all of this crap, and tax evasion. And Andrew Young doesn't take that money to put towards the Carter campaign to get Thevis a medical release. I would say that that's the definition of blackmail. I can't prove it, right? Can't prove it. And like I said, some of those fires back in the day, especially the ones involving the KKK, while those records are sealed forever, you can probably safely assume why. But let's go ahead and take a peek, because even though Simon W. said that he does not research this anymore, and I highly doubt that he's watching, I very likely will be reaching out to him if I can't find anything and try to get his thoughts, since he, became very familiar with this network. So did Flesh Simulator, which, you guys, he's like almost to 900,000 views. I'm so excited for him. So right here, Houston warehouse, obscene material is seized. This is 1973. Here's my big problem with this. Let's go down here. This is the same year. This is the same year that the FBI cites the warehouse raid involving Roy Ames. There is never anywhere that I can find details of the location of that raid. I don't really buy the idea, until I see proof otherwise, that there were 2 massive Houston raids of obscene and sexual material. But look who's there, Gary Scott Van Gundy. That's a Thevis employee. He's been cited in other articles. Yep. And again, these are just detailing basically the exact same information, but how vague these are and the fact that I can't find anything as far as specific court records or anything in FOIA, I'm operating under the assumption that this is the exact same network. And right here, again, September 8th, 1973, 6 arrested in porno raids. Tulane News Shop, that's a Thevis one. What do we have? Barone Bookstore, that's Thevis. Decatur News Center, that's Thevis. And Rivergate News Agency, well, we've already seen that one. And it says that the Jackson Avenue location of one of these businesses is the warehouse and distribution point for the 3 outlet stores. It names all of the operators of these various news agencies, quote unquote, and bookstores. Now, over here, kind of touching on some of Thevis's other work, because no, he wasn't just a disgusting pornographer. He also was very heavily involved in the music industry. This is the Atlanta Journal, November 1st, 1973. Convicted pornographer Michael Thevis is being sued by an LA woman who claims she was hired by Thevis's recording company and then her employment was terminated shortly after she came to work in Atlanta. Ms. Frazier said in her suit that in June 73, Thevis induced her to accept a job as national director of Aware Records, a subsidiary of General Recording, at a salary of $22,000 a year for a 2-year period. Thevis faithfully promised her a producer's contract for 2 years at approximately $15,000 so she could produce recordings for General Recording. She said that Thevis also agreed to sign a recording group known as Phase 3, a group which she represented, and to allow Miss Frazier to produce a recording by the group within 6 months. That would have brought her in total an extra $30,000 a year. So, that is some of his music stuff, and I think I might actually go ahead and pull up, because damn, this is another one of his. I completely forgot about this. We'll pull up the music stuff in a little bit. So let's go, because this talks about Deep Throat 2. The Atlanta Journal, November 16th, 1973. Okay, talking about a movie being a public nuisance. Well, who are the defendants? Oh, look, 106 Forsyth, doing business as the Festival Cinema. Imagine that. Okay, and then we've got, who else do we got up here? Well, I'm not going to sit there and read the details of Deep Throat or Miss Jones. Okay, we're not doing any of that because they're talking about butt stuff and I'm not interested. But over here is a bit more of a clearer article regarding the theater manager, which I will be coming back to. But right here in the bottom right corner, Mel Friedman, secretary. Oh, look, 106 Forsyth Street Corp of Atlanta, Festival Cinema. Look at all of Thevis's dirty-ass businesses, right? All of his dirty businesses. Now, this is where things get real interesting for me. Then we're going to get onto the music stuff. So, Tucson Daily News, May 29th, 1973. A flood of hardcore pornography, much of it from mafia-connected sources, has hit this city on the Salt River. Across the street from the spanking new $28 million Civic Center, you can buy magazines from a mock publisher that show explicit sex, including girls in their mid-teens. Hey, meatballs. A fuck a you. Halfway between the Civic Center and City Hall, 5 blocks distant, red or green lights flash on 24 booths in the murky atmosphere of an adult theater featuring coin-operated machines. A red light means a booth is occupied, green, unoccupied. Signs on the booths notify customers of what voyeuristic delights are offered by the film machines inside. A hefty guard patrols the aisles to enforce the rule of 1 customer to a booth. And 3 blocks away, Captain Donald Lozier, head of the police department's Special Investigations Division, sits and wonders what to do about it all. In 3 minutes, he can walk to any one of 10 bookstores or theaters in the downtown area that feature pornographic materials. Just 4 years ago, the city of Phoenix had 6 bookstores that sold objectionable material. Now we have 19. At that same time, we had 2 theaters that showed hardcore pornographic films. Now we have 8, with the expectation of more opening in the future. Police are fighting a losing battle, he told the group. Where did I lose this here? Oh, I cut it off. There we go. So far this year, the Phoenix Police Department has submitted 33 cases of pornography for prosecution. Only one of these cases has resulted in any criminal complaint. Not going to sit here and read every single thing. However, right here. Upon visiting several Phoenix porno outlets, a citizen reporter found material from the following publishers and distributors, all of which are mafia connected, according to former FBI pornography expert Homer Young of Thousand Oaks, California. Parliament News of Chatsworth, California, owned by Milton Luros, described by the LA County District Attorney's Office as the biggest pornographer publisher in Southern California and operator of a multi-million-dollar conglomerate. Luros, whose real name is Milton Rosenblatt, got his start 12 years ago with a $10,000 loan from James Piccarelli Jr., muscle man for the Vito Genovese mob. Media Distributors of New York, owned by Robert DiBernardo and Theodore Rothstein, better known as Teddy Roth. Money has been funneled to Rothstein from the mafia family of Samuel De Cavalcante in New Jersey, Young said. Suki Inc. West Coast porno outlet of Willie Hamowitz, who, according to Young, has bragged of being bankrolled by the Carlo Gambino mafia family of New York. Hamowitz and members of the Gambino family were indicted in Orange County recently for conspiracy to sell pornographic material after law enforcement officers confiscated 100,000 magazines from a Suki warehouse in Los Alamitos. Pendulum and Calga Publishers of LA, and Peachtree Discount Distributors of Atlanta, all controlled by Michael Thevis of Atlanta, who Young says has ties to the Joseph Colombo mafia family of New York. In addition, 29 of Thevis's coin-operated movie machines featuring explicit sexual material were found in Phoenix pornography outlets. It is not just control of the pornography business by organized crime elements that worries Lozier. He is also concerned about the form pornography takes as it becomes more hardcore. In Chicago, not too long ago, the police broke up a mail order pornography ring which used 11 and 12-year-old girls as models. They were posed in perverted scenes of sadomasochistic violence. So, that's the hellscape. And I'm not done. I'm not done, but we're not going to get through everything today. I literally just hit the halfway mark of that PowerPoint. We're just in 1973. That's just scratching the surface of Thevis. But it did talk about his music empire, and so a lot of people don't know that Thevis was very big into music. And that obviously is going to bring in the weird stuff with Billy Graham, right? Because there's a lot of weird money with Billy Graham. So we're just going to kind of click through. That way you guys can see it. We're not going to sit here and read every single little thing. But let's go ahead and pull it up. And those who are a fan of Ted Nugent, who would have thunk, right? Who would have thunk? Not me, except for yes, me, because nothing is sacred. So, Ted Nugent, Amboy Dukes, recorded at the Sound Pit, Atlanta, Georgia. That is Michael Thevis. Okay, so over here, these are all from a magazine called Cashbox Magazine, and I just grabbed every single thing that I could find that mentioned Michael Thevis. He also owned a company called Jason Management. Kind of makes me think of the Jason Group, completely unrelated, but just, kind of bugged me out. But it's very strange, Michael Thevis. Very deep within the gospel scene, at that time, which is real sus. And for the individuals that are familiar with the smiley face murders, well, it's kind of weird that General Recording Company had a real big spot in Nashville, right? A little bit weird, could be related, could be unrelated. But here we have again Jason Management, GRC, 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 right? And the Sound Pit Studio. Here we go again. It's fascinating, though, that he held a seminar on the legal proceedings, right? Because I'm going to be coming back and kind of tearing through all of the lawyers that are listed here, because the lawyers are the ones that get these jack wagons out of these situations, right? And again, right here, more setting up all over the world, right? He's got Bobby Weiss and one music agency. And Bobby Weiss is doing international licensing consulting for GRC. I'm just like, whatever. I really don't know what people want me to tell them. I don't know. Don't know. Don't care. There's a photo over there. Right over here. Bobby Weiss and Michael Thevis. Whatever. And Buzz Wilburn. Yeah. So here's a fun little article that I found from a Hustler magazine in the way back. 1977, Michael Thevis. He was in the news again when Jack Anderson reported that the FBI had tried to link Thevis and UN Ambassador Andrew Young in a conspiracy case to get Thevis out of jail. Thevis was seeking a furlough to undergo hip surgery, busted for conspiracy to commit arson and for transporting obscene material across state lines. He sought aid from his congressman at the time, Andrew Young. The FBI not only charged that Young may have worked too diligent for his constituent, but also dropped dark hints that Thevis offered Young a bribe. Thevis and Young obviously denied the charges, and the feds dropped the case for lack of evidence. I don't believe you. I'm sorry, FBI. I don't believe you. And John Douglas is a bitch. Over here, though, again, talking about Andrew Young through Carter Crony, Burt Lance. $400,000. $150,000 through a fellow inmate and $250,000 through Burt Lance. But obviously, all of these people are denying all of this. Now, over here, whoops. This is one of those labels. Remember, we saw that when that woman was suing him. Aware. So there's the Aware label, right? And down here, Hotlanta. That's another label that he owned. Okay, and there's the aforementioned Buzz Wilburn. Okay, so Thevis is all up in a little bit of everything. Okay, and then this is just basically every single thing that I could pull up. This movie, Poor Pretty Eddie. Let's zoom in on that one. He does all the things you like to forget. Dun dun dun. So over here, according to Thevis, executive producer of the film, we are working closely with Georgia Governor Jimmy Carter. Yeah, I bet you are. I bet you are. And I bet that came in handy. And right here, Modern Films of Georgia, well, that's another Thevis company. So imagine that. Imagine that. Let's keep going. And right here, this is when he's opening up in Tennessee. Look at him. Look at him right there. He's full of so much hope. He's not killing anybody. He just wants to make music, right? He just wants to fit in and succeed. And then down here, Wes Anderson. For people who know, you know. If not, I'll be coming back to it another time because I'm not going to sit here and talk about all of the music crap. That's not going to happen. I want to see if there's anything else that I want to show you guys real quick because holy guacamole, I'm already at an hour and a half. And Hollis. Then Nugent has recorded at the Sound Pit more than once. You know, he had a 14-year-old or so girlfriend that he married. Well, no, I didn't know that. Okay. I believe you. Wonder what they were doing at Apogee in the Sound Pit, right? Because Apogee and Soundpit are the same thing. I have all the records. I've downloaded every single record from the state of Georgia, from the Secretary of State. That's where Wayne Williams was working. So, I don't really know what people want. That's really dark, though. That's really dark. Let's touch on one more thing. Pendulum Books. He said that they were theological tracts, right? And I've shown this before, but I think that it has been a long time since I have shown it. So I'm going to show you guys again. Let's go ahead and let's look and see what sort of theology they're peddling, right? Let's go ahead and take a peek. Right there. Pendulum Books. You will notice, for those of you that are familiar with Kinsey, these are available at the Kinsey Institute. The ABCs of Sex, a study of sex from crib to adulthood, the teenage oral sex kick, a girl's adventure in a boys' camp, subteen sex, a searing study of nymphette orgies, underage perversions, sex before 12, erotica and the teenager, and adventures in a house of pleasure plus passionate girls and the Greek sodomite. And we also have some other ones here. Barefoot in Hell, Cherry Penny, Down, 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 Licked Lisa, and Pleasure Island. Any of that sound like theological? I mean, I guess if you like Kinsey, I'm not accusing anyone here of liking Kinsey. However, you would be shocked at the people that do. You would be shocked. But I fully anticipate that I am going to be pissing off a lot more people the further that we get into this, because, you know, I'm trying to stick to the facts, y'all, and I let you know when I'm sharing my opinion, but, you know, a lot of this ties into, you know, LGBTQIA plus history. And I don't hate on people. You know, do what you want. As long as you're not hurting anybody, be happy. I'm allowed to, you know, operate with my own sort of belief system that I don't put on other people, but I just want people to be happy and it doesn't bother me. I don't care. But the way that the histories have been manipulated, and it ain't just Kinsey, trust me. Because in regards to Ruben Sturman and Milton Luros, and John Norman, there's another sort of, I wouldn't say hero figure, even though we are going to be looking at some heroes of the history of all of this, that they whitewash a lot of that history. And I just want people to understand that I'm not here to hurt anybody's feelings, and I don't do like identity politics. I just don't. I think that these things need to be talked about, and I think that it's been designed this way so that people don't talk about it. Because I see all of this stuff as long-term planning, right? It's all social engineering. Yeah, always has been, always will be. And that's a hell of a long game if you're trying to get people to not talk about the trafficking of children, right? And CSAM and snuff and all of the other absolutely vile and disgusting things that you're doing with kids, especially in New York predominantly, you know, young black children. Obviously, it was happening to white kids as well. And then in Atlanta with young black kids, right? Because it's obviously not just, you know, the ethnic minorities. It's also going to be those kids that are really poor, that come from poor families, that are vulnerable. So anybody that thinks that they're going to get their feelings hurt, don't leave a comment, because I don't care. I'm not here to make you feel good. And while I would like to be everybody's friend, I don't do new friends. Okay? That whole no new friends thing, I mean it. And take it to the bank. I'm good. I'm not hating on anybody, but, you know, this isn't true crime. I'm not here to make you happy. I'm not going to be talking about the process all the time. This is going to be a very long journey that you're going to go on with me. And if you don't want to go on it, that's fine. Just don't leave a comment telling me what you think I should do. Because I don't take orders from anybody. And one last thing. This Sunday, don't remember what time we have it scheduled. I believe it is 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I think I am doing my first ever with Parker. Gonna have Parker on here. And we're gonna make some people big mad. And I can't wait. I can't wait. We're gonna bring out the Demon Fighting Girl Squad, and for all you lurkers that are lurking, if you think that we're gonna talk about you, yeah, probably, and we're gonna make fun of you because you embarrass yourself, and you bring shame upon your ancestors, and we're gonna seize upon all of that, right? We're gonna seize upon all of it. So I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Be safe. Please don't lose your mind over fake and gay politics. Okay? We'll get through it together. And if we don't, I promise, I'll go first. Let them know that I would like to check out. Okay? Bye. Shit, it's not going.